What's up, model makers? This seems to be kind of a good week for doing some quick product reviews. And I have had this clear coat lacquer from Zero Paints sitting on my workbench for a while. And just haven't been getting around to reviewing it or checking it out, testing it, whatever. So I thought today I would do that. So I'm going to do that here in a second and show you how it works. But before I do that, just kind of a word about clear gloss lacquers. They're kind of in a no man's land for me. I mostly bought this one out of curiosity because if you need a gloss just for the purposes of decaling or whatever, when there's such good products on the market like All Clad Aqua Gloss or Tamiya's X22, as acrylics that don't have the toxicity issues of a lacquer, then to me, there's really no reason to use one for that sort of thing. On the other hand, if you're doing an automotive project and you want a true automotive gloss, excuse me, then my go-to has been at 2K clear urethane, because they're just so effective and so easy to use. But they are pretty toxic, allegedly even more toxic than clear lacquers. So at any rate, that's why I say that a clear lacquer is kind of in a sort of purgatory in between there for me. But I wanted to check it out, wanted to see how it worked. I was curious about it. So let's take a look. Okay, let's get to spraying some of this stuff. The instructions on the bottle tell you to lay down a base layer and let it flash for about 15 minutes, and then apply 2 or more single coats. You can see that right there. And that's pretty standard for lacquers. The idea is that you put on a dust layer first and let it flash, and that gives you sort of a tacky layer for subsequent layers of paint to stick to. And that can be really helpful if you're spraying a gloss where you've got to spray wet and you want to keep yourself from getting any runs. So that's what we're going to do. As you can see, I've got just a little bit of this clear that I've put in the cup. This is my Iwata ep94. It's got a 0.5 millimeter needle on it, and I'm spraying right now at, let's see, I'll kick it up to 20 psi because that's kind of my baseline that I shoot just about everything at, and I go up or down from there. I would probably, under normal circumstances, I would shoot this clear using the fan tip, which is one of the cool things about the Iwata ep94, is it comes with a fan tip. And those are really nice for doing large areas where you need a real consistent layer over the entire surface, and that's exactly the case with a clear coat. So I would probably normally use the fan tip, but for this test, we're doing a small area. Not a big deal, we don't have to be in a hurry, so I'm just sticking with my regular tip because that's what's on there. Okay, I didn't use real good spray discipline there, but basically that's not a big deal here because I'm just looking to get that tack layer on there. And you may be able to see where you can kind of tell that it's there, but it's not real visible, and it shouldn't be because it's just a dust layer. So we're going to let that flash for just a little while, and we'll come back. Okay, I've given that about 10 minutes to kick, and I'm going to go ahead now and lay down a couple of wet layers. Now hopefully you'll notice one thing is I'm trying to observe good spray discipline this time because these layers are for real. I'm trying to always keep the spray gun at a right angle to the surface that I'm working from, because if the spray gun is tilted, then that means I'm going to get less paint over here than I am over here. And obviously I don't want that. I want a nice even layer for a gloss. I'm also trying to make sure that I don't leave any gaps between passes, because I want wet pass to connect to wet pass. That whole surface needs to be wet in order for it to provide a good gloss layer. I'm also trying to use real constant speed, and I never start and stop on the surface. Like I never go halfway and then turn around and go back. Always spray all the way past the edge, turn around, and then go all the way past. That way, you never have a place where you're concentrating more spray. If I come halfway and stop and turn around, then the place where I turned around is going to have twice as much paint as everything around it. So that's just good basic old school spray discipline, and you want to use that when you're looking for a good smooth surface like a gloss. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep going until I satisfy myself that I've got a really good high shine gloss finish. Okay, we can start to see that sheen is coming up, but it's still not what I would call a real hard gloss. It's sort of a satin at this point. So I'm going to just keep working it. Now you may notice that I've changed up my spray technique just a little bit. I'm actually slowing down now, and the reason that I'm doing that is because I'm applying a wetter layer, because I can see that it's not building up to the gloss level that I want as quickly as I want. So I'm just laying it down a little bit heavier, and I do that by reducing the speed. Now something else that you may be able to see, I don't know, I can see it, is that this decal right here is starting to wrinkle up a little bit. And that doesn't surprise me too much. This wing was part of a decal test that I did on another video, and this decal was applied with no decal setting solution, just basically nothing but water. And so it's not as firmly melted into the surface as these other decal samples are, which were set with microsol or Solvaset. So that's kind of an interesting thing to note, because you definitely have to be careful of decals when you're spraying a hot product like a clear lacquer on top of them. Okay, at this point we've got 3 solid layers, and I'm still not satisfied with that gloss, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, the material is really starting to stack up now, but I'm not making a lot of progress in getting to the level of sheen that I want. So, but I'm just going to keep going. I think we've got 5 solid layers on there now, and I don't know if you can see it. It's down here in this yellow section, but I've got a little bit of a bubble where some of this paint is starting to lift up a little bit. And this is Tamiya acrylic that was thinned with Mr. Leveling Thinner, where I was testing some of that. Now, I should say that for both of these cases where you're seeing a little bit of wrinkling because this lacquer is so hot and I'm laying it on so thick, is that the solution to that is to just do lighter layers and do more of them.
That's not an uncommon thing. That's how you keep it from melting the surface underneath. Now, one thing about lacquers is they do dry to the touch pretty quickly. You can see I'm touching this with my finger already and not leaving any fingerprints. It's not sticky at all. And that's one of the advantages of a lacquer.
Okay, so it's about 20 minutes later, and let's take a look at what we've got here. I ended up laying down, I think, 9 layers of material to get to where I'm at. And I actually, for the last 2, I ended up just laying the thing flat and just basically flooding it on there so that I could clean out the spray gun and just kind of be done with it. And this is kind of similar to my past experience with other clear lacquers. I did a project last year where I used Model Master's clear gloss lacquer, and I had to spray a shit ton of layers to get a real glassy, smooth finish. And honestly, this is kind of my beef with clear gloss lacquers. You can see that even with all that work and all those layers, just let me get zoomed in there where you can see the surface. Okay, it's pretty shiny, but it's nothing like smooth. There's lots of orange peel, texture, goobers of various kinds in there. Some places it looks really good, other places not so much. Now, can I polish all of that out? Yeah, sure. I'm sure that I probably could. But here's the thing. I probably could have gotten to a much better finish. In fact, I know I could have gotten to a much better finish with 1 or 2 layers of a good 2K clear urethane gloss. And that's why that's my preference when it comes to trying to get a really good automotive shine. They just work better. So there you go. That's a quick test of the Zero Paints Clear Coat Lacquer, part number ZP3002 that you can see right here. Okay, so there you go. That's a look at the Clear Coat Gloss Lacquer from Zero Paints. I think you can see that it has potential. I certainly don't think that there's anything wrong with the product, but it seems to have the same issues that I've had with other clear lacquers before. And again, because it's in a sort of a no man's land in between the products that I know work for the things that I need to use a gloss clear for, it's, not something that I can get super excited about. I wish that it was a little bit better. And to be fair, I know that some people have made good use of it. I've seen some beautiful finishes with this exact stuff. So I know that it's possible, but again, as I said while I was shooting it, a 2K urethane for me is just more effective because it's easier, doesn't require as many layers, doesn't require as much work. Now, one thing people might say from my test is, but you sprayed it on top of a flat coat. But that's normal. If you've ever worked with an automotive base coat, clear coat system, you'll see that the color coat is in fact a matte finish. So it's not any different really than what I used here on this little test piece. So that's normal. That's not something that should keep you from ending up with a high gloss because it's the clear that takes care of that. So again, anyway, I don't think that there's anything wrong with this product. Zero has a reputation for making good products, and there's lots of people who have really good luck with them. This just is something that, for my workflow, isn't necessarily going to be effective. But if you need an automotive gloss and you don't want to mess with the toxicity of or having to mix a two-part, because that's what 2K means with 2K clear urethane. If you don't want to have to deal with mixing it, then a single part material is nice. And I see people sometimes calling this stuff 1K clear, which I don't really know what that means. That's kind of a misnomer because I don't know. I think maybe that's just a term of convenience, but it is lacquer, and it is very different from a 2K clear urethane. But again, for me, if I'm going to have to mask up and deal with all the, fumes and stuff floating around in the air, just the same pretty much between, a 2K clear urethane and this stuff. Again, because the urethane is more effective, that's what I'm going to stick with. So anyway, that's just the way I see it. That's my view on it. Don't let me stop you from trying it out if you think it could work for you. Okay? All right, guys. Thanks for checking it out. Much love.